rent a strike or something like this. Like the feeling about the city is that people is very, very stressed, and now we are organizing for switch to our phases 2, because the government say from the 5 of May, phases 2 we're gonna start, so they will progressive reopen many activities, not bar or restaurant, but all the other the shops, and so we reopen, and they already say we know that when we reopen there will be another peak of COVID.
Yeah.
We are trying to manage this because not easy.
Yeah, but it's also necessary, I guess. I have, of course, I'm Italian as well, and I hear from my friends that are.
Is everyone? Can I cut you off, Grace?
Yeah.
We are live.
Yeah.
So we can continue in a moment. Okay. Welcome, everybody. This is Practicing Tactical Solidarities. I'm Rachael Rakes, the Curator of Public Practice at BAC. This event comes out of remobilization of some of BAC's programming efforts in light of the current crisis. Rather than attempting to modulate our pre-existing programs online, we've been thinking about how to shift the research and resources we have towards active response and in support of coordinated grassroots and creative efforts around us, whether in the forms of organizing, strikes, and redistributions of time, labor, and goods. Towards that notion, we've developed a new digital forum entitled Perspectives, which merges previous BAC research and enlists ongoing collaborations to think practically and speculatively however we can, along with current urgencies and opportunities. The first focus of the forum is called Tactical Solidarities. It looks at some previous and some new solidarity frameworks to offer possibilities for lasting and malleable forms. So this event is an offer of a few of those as well. I'm really happy to bring in several collectives and cooperatives from around Europe who've been doing emergency and structural work and who are thinking beyond triage, beyond only filling in the social gaps of the corporate state to enact mutual aid and to maintain strong communities. So we're joined by Afrikaanderwijk Cooperative in Rotterdam, the Basic Activist Kitchen and Solidarity Kitchen in Utrecht, the Emergency Volunteer Brigades Milaan and further afield, and Homebaked Anfield in Liverpool. And I want to mention that all of these groups are working extremely hard right now and taking their time out of intensive labors to be here to discuss these strategies and urgencies and possible futures. So thanks a lot for that. A note on structure. We will start off by hearing from each of our guests for a few minutes and then begin a discussion amongst the groups, at which point we invite the audience to participate from whichever platform you are watching this event. Just feel free to comment and we will get to them. Another thing that I would ask is that if anyone out there in the audience would also like to share efforts in your own locale or network, please also place them in the comments. It's just nice to keep building and constellating these networks, especially with a kind of variety of kinds of platforms, a variety of local strategies, etc. And with that, I would like to introduce the first speakers. So the Emergency Volunteer Brigades in Milaan is an autonomous initiative born to respond to the urgencies raised by the COVID-19 health crisis. They organize support from food deliveries to access to counseling to medical advice for those who are affected by the emergency through multiple volunteer groups. The brigades were born in Milaan and are now active in multiple cities. And joining us today is Valerio, along with possibly Francois and maybe others who will come in. So Valerio, I'll ask you to take it away. Tell us what you're doing now, what this came out of, some strategies you're working from, and other things that you think are important.
Yeah, thank you everybody for this occasion to share what we are doing. It's a pleasure to spend some time with you, all of you. So basically we feel immediately that this emergency with, our state and our local institution was not at all able to manage the situation. All the decision from the state and institution was confused or wrong. So we immediately, as autonomous comrades and autonomous group, we immediately feel that we can be organized and we can in first step, we can share a good help for population. We know very well that during a crisis, the last are more touched by the crisis. So we immediately think about poor people, homeless, migrants, and everybody that was abandoned by institution. So we say stay at home is not enough. We need to organize a way, an intelligent and clever way to act. For one side, to keeping safe ourselves and the people that we want to help, because this was the first step, and for the other, to be to develop a sort of credibility, and then allow us to make a sort of steps forward from the organization level that we usually have, not in emergency, in a normal way. So we build the brigade. We're starting from a coordination. We are these people that you can see here around, behind me. We are 10 people almost, and we decide to make a public call to all the organization. There are 3 different popular football teams that get involved in brigades. There are some territorial collectives, autonomous collectives, and 1 or 2 social center. And we spread this call and we say, let's meet and let's get organized to starting helping people. Effectively, as you told, we starting to buy things to the people, and briefly we switch to provide free food from people, because the food distribution and yeah, and collection is the main now is now the main operation that we're doing. We are more than 300 people organized in nine brigade. Each one have the name of one called partisan, because we want to keep our identity. I mean, we know that we are volunteer, we make humanitarian action, but we want to keep our political identity. So we give to each brigade the name of a partisan, and yeah, we find this the NGO called Emergency, and we ask them medical formation and DPI, and they give us. And then together with this NGO, we we ask to the city major, then they allow us to do that. And they was in panic, so they say, okay, please let's do, because there was nobody in the streets. We stay 15 days in the streets. When there was in the streets the brigades and the police, no one anymore. But police obviously can't help people, never.
Never.
Never know.
So now after 1 month, almost 2 months, there are many more organizations that are in the streets, but we still, I mean, we still having a huge organization that we never faced before, and that we never find before the way to get organized at the level that we reach at this moment.
Can you say a bit about the expansion that's happening right now?
Yeah, at the moment we have served more than like 5,000 persons in during these 2 months. We mobilize 14 tons of foods and other goods that we distribute free to the people. We have more than 400 people involved in the project, and every day there are a lot of people that want to be part of the brigades. So the brigades starting with 9, now they became 14 brigades, also in some districts outside of the major of the Milano. Yeah, we mobilize a lot of, I mean, we buy a part of food, we take another part of food from public donation. For example, we stay outside from the supermarket. We launch this campaign that is who can donate, who needs take. Very simple. We put the box outside from the supermarket, and a lot of people donate foods.
So from here, we'll go to the Basic Activist Kitchen and Solidarity Kitchen in Utrecht. The Basic Activist Kitchen is run by a group of Utrecht-based activists, artists, and researchers in collaboration with several local collectives. And recently, the Basic Activist Kitchen has begun collaborating with Solidarity Kitchen at Aku, Utrecht, to offer free meals to those who have become or remain food insecure during this crisis. And representing the kitchens today is Grace and Renee. So, take a
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody. It's nice to be here, of course. And yeah, it's yeah. We just finished our dinner service. Today we serve around 60, 70 meals. And yeah, with Renee and some other people. We already knew each other in the past. So when around 45 days ago, almost 50 days ago, Renee contacted me personally and other friends and say, hey, you want to join? We are going to start this project. We want to open up the kitchen for 7 days a week, and we want to provide meals to homeless people and undocumented people, and well, whoever is in need, and maybe deliver also to the people that are isolated at home or sick. We need some hands and well, some people that are able to cook in, for big numbers, let's say from 50 to 100 meals a day. So some cooks are always handy for that. And then I say, yeah, why not? We have been doing that in the past in a smaller scales for eat cafes in, here at Aku and also in squats. So yeah, of course, the emergency part just made it more, gave it a bit more pressure, but for us was something that, came pretty natural to do. And then, yeah, well, I joined together with the Activist Kitchen, the Solidarity Kitchen, but for the Solidarity Kitchen, maybe Renee can say something more because he was here from day zero.
Yeah, we started a Solidarity Kitchen with 3 separate groups that organize once a week a meal in the Aku. It's a 100% volunteer-run venue in Utrecht. And we noticed that with all the measures that were taken by the government, that there's a big group of people who are completely ignored. You cannot tell a homeless person to stay at home. You cannot tell a homeless person that is depending on income by begging, by playing music on the street, then that he can buy food anymore. And yeah, with these 3 groups, we decided that with the opportunities we have within Aku, we have a professional kitchen, we have a venue. So with all these possibilities joined together, we decided to start it, and then after that, contacting different people we knew already to support us in this. And we are at the moment completely run independently because we get a lot of donations financially, but also food and non-food like plates and stuff like that. From people who are supporting our case. We also do recycle food and around 80, 90 meals a day on average.
On average.
Yeah.
And there's a nice structure because, of course, also safety matters were discussed here. Yeah. So yeah, it's organized. Every day there are for the dinner bit there are 3 teams. One team is the team that collect the food, the recycle food, one team that does the distribution downstairs at the door of the venue, and one team which is the cooking team. So we also make sure that the three teams work separately and everybody gets to choose with whom to work. So for example, I have my own team with 2 friends, which are also people I hang out or I've been hanging out since Corona started. And yeah, slowly we thought, okay, the Basic Activist Kitchen was already a platform that, you know, some solidarity, food, mutual aid strategies. And I thought, okay, can we join and how can we give a hand and provide maybe an extra service, what has not been done yet. Then we investigate possibility for delivering food also to shelters, but this was not really possible because many shelters don't allow us to bring our own food because there are some regulations that say you should they should cook it in their own kitchen.
It's Holland.
But of course, volunteers during COVID stay home, so their kitchens are closed. And then we thought, okay, maybe let's think of lunch. So at the moment, we open 2 days a week, Monday and Friday, the kitchen at the back. And we have different teams. We have 2 different teams that prepare simple lunch. Usually we have sandwich and fruit. Or sandwich and juice, depends what's in the house, and it's going pretty good. Everybody's responding nicely, and I'm happy because with the donation, food-wise and financially, we can stay. You know, we can stand by ourselves. Of course, now. It's a bit uncertain time, so we don't know for how long this can go on. So the guys are working on a financial plan and see if we can and we need to go on until June. Can we make it with the money we have? If we don't, there's gonna be a second call out for donation, and hopefully, well, unless it gets really hot and it's not going to be possible to recycle food, because of course to recycle food, well, if it's 30 degrees it becomes pretty hard, but after 3 weeks of sun it's raining again, so temperature went down and skip will go up. So yeah, for now that's what we are doing. And
maybe for all the others in Holland, it's until the 20th of May that, let's say, restaurants, bars, and all these things are closed for sure. And we personally expect that it's going to take a lot longer before these things open up again.
So we are working now, thinking of 1st of June at least.
Yeah, maybe longer.
Maybe longer.
Thanks. So next up, we will hear from Homebaked. Homebaked is a cooperative bakery which grew alongside a sister organization, Homebaked Community Land Trust, which was initially an artwork by Jean van Heeswijk, commissioned by the Liverpool Biennial. The idea behind it was the reopening of a neighborhood bakery as a community business in the midst of a demolition zone as an act of creative resistance that could inspire a new direction in regenerating the area. Today, Homebaked is a business owned by over 200 members, and today from Homebaked is Angela McKay.
Yeah, hi everyone. Well, as we are a business, we had to shut. So we looked, before we shut, we spoke with the local church. Me and the vicar, we done a call out to other community groups in the area to see what we could all do together, coming together, how we could help one another. We're a little bit different because it is a business, so we've had to look at that side of it as well, as in, people's jobs. would we survive being a business after this, as this pandemic, you know, is over. So we shut the shop before we were told to. We done social distancing from the sides. We opened a window, which on a match day with fans from travelling, you know, travelling fans and Liverpool football fans, because we're right across from the stadium, we use that as our pie. We call it the pie hole. So we were able to open the business and do the social distancing from there. But it was really important for us to look at what we were going to be doing, because we get told all the time that we're in a deprived area, and we needed to be looking what we could do to reduce any risk to staff and our community. So we took the decision that we close before we were told to close, and looked at strategies then how we could support the other community groups that were working in the area, which was the food banks, which is organisations that were set up to help people who were low income, waiting for national health off benefits, people who, you know, were homeless could go. It's a scheme that's already set up. So we're at the moment, we're making 100 loaves a day to support the food banks. We donate food to the local church, bread to the local church, because they do a soup kitchen on a Thursday. We do, what we're trying to do is trying to keep the business afloat, but not overwhelm the staff that are still having to work, because we have had to furlough. These are government aids. I don't know whether you have got it in your countries, that they pay 80% of the wages. So we've had to furlough some staff because we're not making the pies. We lost 3 matches, the Liverpool football games, and that we sell over enough. We make about £3,000 on each game, and that underpins us as a business, and that helps us then do the other part of the community business that we do. So what we've done now is looked at how we can get the pies out to people in a safe manner. So we're selling the pies online, but while we're selling them online, there's also a donation button, so people can still donate money, because usually if people were coming to the football game, they would bring dry food or tin food that would go to the food banks, because we were a drop-off point. So people are able to still donate, and then we're giving that to the food banks to help them buy more food, or, you know, they're buying fresh vegetables to go out with the food packs. So we're working in conjunction with fans supporting food banks. We're working with the NHS. We've had a lot of people donated and wanted to give to the nurses and doctors who are on the front line. So we're providing fresh bread. We've provided pies for them to take home to cook after a shift. We're doing what we usually do, because as a community business, that's what we've been doing anyway, you know, linking in with other groups, supporting them, their initiatives. Regards to homelessness, we're really lucky in this city. Previously I worked at the Whitechapel Centre for 16 years, and with the Whitechapel and with other organisations and the City Council, we've been able to house near enough everyone that was classed as homeless now, and they're getting food bank vouchers, they're getting these food parcels, and they're able to cook in the accommodation that's being provided. So this is our 6th week of lockdown. It's still, it's still scary for everybody. And as a business, we had to think what we could do to just safeguard our staff as well, because they were scared coming into work. So with these only 4 of us, 5 of us working out of 21 of us, and we're trying to keep it, we've been diverse, we've been making sandwiches and baking pies for a big cooperative, an Asda, a local shopping, Walmart it is in America, and they bought off us sandwiches and pies for their staff to help with their morale, the morale of the staff, and make sure that staff were eating well. So that was a little bit of income for us, as well as us trying to help feed frontline staff in, with nutritious food and good wholesome food. So that's where we're up to now. That's what we've been doing.
Thanks, Ange. And finally is Afrikaanderwijk Cooperative in Rotterdam. The cooperative links existing workplaces, shopkeepers, producers, social organizations with the Afrikander market. The cooperative encourages sustainable local production, knowledge exchange, cultural development, and entrepreneurship based on shared responsibility and participation. And joining us from the Afrikaanderwijk is Judy Rambag, David Dansu, and Janneke Absu. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, my name is Janneke Absu. I'm sitting here with my colleagues. And we can share. Yeah. Trying to social distance. We're working on it every day. I'm sitting here with my colleagues, a few of my colleagues actually, because of course we are cooperative, and we are, part of the cooperative are 50 local shopkeepers, but at the moment we also have over, I think, 60 employees working for this cooperative, but also for, we established the neighborhood cooperative, which is located in the Afrikaanderwijk in Rotterdam South, actually next to a big market square, which is closed at this moment. And we started the cooperative in 2013, so we're working for quite a long time in this area. And even before the cooperation was established, there was a lot of work already being done from the organization in this area, and it's a relevantly poor area, especially in Rotterdam. And actually the need for the cooperative to self-organize and to self-organize within a cooperative really came from the urge to also make sure that the work was created within this area, that also the work was not outsourced to other parties in Rotterdam, and to also be that autonomous, steady partner in this neighborhood, to create these jobs, but also to we're sitting here in the Gemodereerd site, which is a big building place next to the market. And this building serves different functions. At one side, it's like the house, the place where we can organize from as a cooperative, as the organization, but it also has a professional kitchen. So the neighborhood kitchen is located here, which normally works here daily, providing catering. And we also, in the back of the building, we have like a sewing workshop, which also provides a lot of work. We rent out the space to commercial parties, but also for different activities, which we or self-organize or we collaborate with other parties in this neighborhood locally. But also we do a lot of knowledge exchange with schools or universities. And also we provide space for members such as David, who sits here with his foundation. He can explain a little bit more about that. And Judy will also tell a little bit more about the things we're doing now, because of course we're sitting here in the space. We keep on working, although it's we have to yeah, our ways, of course.
Yes, at this moment, few of our activities are still running. I mean, like we have kind of cleaning activities from people here in the neighborhood who are cleaning houses, little parks, also here in our community. That's still we have a green, I don't know how to call it. People who are doing the plants in parks, and that's still running too. Next to that, we still want to help our local entrepreneurs, and most of them are closed now because this is a really poor area and really hard to connect with if you are not local. So we really are there for them, for local entrepreneurs, because we are also autonomous and we are all entrepreneurs too, working here together. And what we are doing is that we help them with the government financial support, how to fill in all the forms, because most of the people who are living here are not Dutch natives. So for them, it's really hard to understand what's the government's websites are about financial support. So we help them. We also created a website for the whole area where we are part of it. It's Feyenoord, and we made a website, feyenoordhelpt.nl, and it's more about that people can come here and ask for whatever they like, they need, like support for groceries or whatever. But the most what we want to do is help the locals here. And Janneke already mentioned, we are located across the market, and the market is a really heart of our community. And now it's closed. The market is also the place where you can buy food, really cheap groceries, vegetables and stuff, and now it's closed. So a lot of the people here don't have the money to go to supermarkets. And what we want to do is to create a mini market here at Gemaal, where we offer, or where we